Mexican League, garage therapy. Tap into my channel, this where you wanna be. Hit that subscribe button, y'all, yeah, you know it's free. 87 Monte Carlo, SS name Ghost. I bet when I punch on the gas, all you see is white smoke. And you know we do it big in Texas, so we gon' 100 spokes like we on the West Coast. Mexican League, garage therapy. Tap in, y'all come get in with me.
Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy Mexican Lee back with another video. Let me start off first by saying thank you to everybody. Thank you to all my followers, my subscribers, friends, family, YouTube, everybody out there in YouTube land, man. Thank you. I appreciate each and every one of y'all for tapping in, checking out your boys' videos, commenting, you know, basically supporting everything that I do. I've been doing this for a lot of years. Mainly I was painting cars out of my garage back in Michigan. Shit, ever since I can remember, man. I think I started when I was like, I don't know, 15, 16 on my very first car. And then it just went on from there. I really started doing like swapping engines back in the day. And then I got into doing body work. Mainly when I took the class that they offered in high school, I did it because it was in a different facility. I did it because I thought I was skipping school. And because we were going to a different building, that was my main intention. But I ended up liking it and kept going on from there. So as I got better at it, a lot of it was, the basics of it was taught in the career center that I went to. Then I learned a lot more after that, the candy painting, you know, a lot of the custom stuff. It was just stuff that I saw that was going on that a lot of people were doing. I wanted to do what they were doing. So I taught myself how to do it. But that's where I got into doing the body work. Kept me out of a lot of trouble. But I just stuck with it, man. And then after that, yeah, I didn't have the money back in the day to pay somebody to do my stuff. But at the same time, I wanted to test my skill at it and then put my work out there to show people I could do it. And then from there, people started liking it. I started making money. So now that I have a full-time job, you know, I'm older. I do it for myself, basically. Kind of here and there, do it for other people. I'm not a full-blown business. You know, this isn't my bread and butter. This is just stuff that I do on my free time to keep, you know what I'm saying? That's why the channel's like, again, that's why the channel's named Therapy Garage. It keeps my mind level. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I keep doing what I'm doing. But, you know, I got my 77 and my 87 Montes that I'm here working on. This one I started back a few years ago, and I had the back issues, had a few surgeries, so I had to stop here and there. And now another surgery with the knee. That was unexpected, so I had to stop again. Finally getting back into the groove of things. It's starting to get a lot stronger. I'll be back to work here soon. So now I'm able to get back in the shop and actually do some stuff. So today's video, sorry about the shakiness in the camera. I'm trying this little thing that I found that I bought a while back, a little selfie stick. But I'm trying to, you know, kind of keep it steady. But physical therapy went well today. So now we're back in the shop. Actually starting to get on my feet a little bit more. So now, shout out Tulu TV, bro. Hey man, you inspired me to go ahead and do this next video, this next build, this next project for GhoSSt. Again, like, comment, subscribe, man. Hit that subscribe button for your boy, man. Hit that notification bell. That way every time I drop a video, you get notified ASAP. But enough of me talking, enough story time, whatever. Again, I'm trying to keep these videos short, but at the same time detailed. So this video is going to be on me building a center console, or trying to build a center console for GhoSSt. Let me switch this camera around real quick for y'all. So let me get it off of this thing too, because it's a little too shaky. So bear with me for a second. All right. So I wasn't going to make a video on this. I was just going to more or less kind of take pictures of it here and there, and then drop, you know, kind of videos, shorts, but that was about it. So we got the factory center console out. I do like the shape of the factory console. I just need cup holders. So that's my main reason for building the center console. So as a lot of y'all, few of y'all may have seen in the shorts, it took me a while to figure out what I was going to do, but I kind of basically wanted it to mimic the factory console. So I built smaller one. I did a smaller one in the Wolverine, the box Chevy, one in the back seat, one in the front seat. They weren't perfect, but they worked. This one, I want to be a little bit more in depth with it, a little bit cleaner, more sturdy, built, you know, nice and tight, to where it's actually bolted to the floor, just like the factory one, in the same, pretty much in the same spots. So the only challenging thing that I have a problem with, and again, this video is probably going to be chopped up into 2 different parts. I don't think I'm going to be able to do this all in one video, but let me explain what I have here. First is what I ended up doing was, like I told y'all before, I couldn't find the chipboard in bigger sheets. You know, I wish I would have been able to find it in a lot bigger, you know, 4x8 sheets like we can, you know, for the wood. It would have been a lot easier. I didn't have any cardboard laying around that was in big enough sheets of what I needed. So I did a bunch of poster board that I drew out my initial idea on a notepad. That's kind of how I basically do even like my speaker boxes, stuff like that. I make a general, you know, I guess blueprint of what I want, you know, to get it out of my head, put it on paper, make some different measurements here and there. They're not going to be exact to the T, but they're decent. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I was a D- student, especially in math. But this kind of stuff, man, I can decently make come to, you know, make it happen. So what I did was I put a bunch of pieces together, taped them all together, drew out my layout. I you know, did some measurements from the factory one, put this stuff on paper, and then went ahead and drew out what I wanted on all the pieces of paper that I made. So I ended up coming up with one whole side, which is on that table over there. I went with that one side and put it in GhoSSt. Kind of lined it up with everything as far as going from underneath the dash to the back seat. And I started building from there, started putting the pieces together from there. So this is going to still have a little glove box, but it's going to be shorter. Basically almost the same height, the same depth, because I need to be able to get to it at the bottom so I can mount it in the factory position where the factory console went. And then under here, I'm going to need to figure out a way to make this removable, so I can get to the shifter, the cable. Not only that, where it mounts to the floor, the brace. I believe it mounts up here. So I'll probably make this into a 2-piece section, and then maybe put some little magnets at the bottom, or even some screws. I don't really care if you see them. But I need to be able to make this to where I can remove it. Lift it up, get down to the inside, take the bolts loose. That way if I need to pull this thing out, I'll be able to. This is going to be where my 2 cup holders are going to go. This area right here is going to be left open for buttons, because of course you see that I have my fans for my inside for my amps to cool them down. I have those 2 buttons. Later on, I want to add lighting inside the car, so at least I have a couple areas on here. I'll still have some real estate for, you know, adding some stuff. This piece here, I haven't figured out if I want to make like a pocket to put something in there, my phone or whatever, I already have a charger, you know, up here, USB charger. So I'm not sure if maybe I'll put a, I don't know what I'm gonna put in there, so I'm not even gonna say it. But this little piece here, this section is gonna be where I'm gonna cut a hole in it and slide my EQ in there and have that pretty much sitting in there versus having it mounted up on the bottom of the dash. So I may go ahead and cut a couple holes in here and put some tweeters in there, something, I don't know yet. All that's still pretty much kind of left open. I'm not 100% sure yet. But I did go on eBay. I bought, Amazon. I bought some latches and still figuring that out yet. But again, this is why I kind of didn't want to make a video on this. But at the same time, I was asked, you know, from a couple people, shout out to y'all for actually, you know, getting my butt up and making me do this. So thank you. I appreciate y'all, man. Because again, some of y'all may need to see this. Some of y'all may not care. But you know, hey, it is what it is. This is the content y'all want to see. This is what I'm gonna put out here for y'all. So thank you again. Thank you for getting me up and pushing me to do so. This, of course, actually is the factory hole for the shifter. You know, I did make sure it went back and forth without hitting. I don't want a big ass hole in it. You know, it's going to be enough to where it's going to make it, you know, be able to move inside there. But I'm debating on if I want to find some type of dial to where it has the park, the P, R, and the, you know, I kind of like how they, you know, some of these people are putting those in there. I don't know if they're making them out of plexiglass and just having somebody etch the letters in there. But I want it to be able to where if I turn the lights on, I want you to be able to see the letters light up. So something universal even. So if y'all, anybody out there knows or has a link to that kind of stuff, drop it in, you know, in the comments section for me, because I'm interested in maybe adding that on here. It does have it on the dash, but I'd love to put it down here if possible. If not, it ain't no biggie either. This thing's gonna be super basic. I'm not doing all the panels and all the, you know, holes with the pressed cage, you know, grills and all that. I mean, maybe later, but for now, this is gonna be super basic, but nice, clean, with cup holders. So that's my main goal. That's my main idea. That's the only reason why I'm doing this. If that was the case, I would have just left the factory one in there because I had already bought a new top for it, painted it, you know, it was nice and clean, so it wasn't nothing wrong with it. But I'm still going to keep that. I'll just put it away. Here's the cup holders that I bought. I believe I bought white ones. They will light up white once I, you know, hook power up to them. So that'll be an extra battery as well. An extra switch. I do have a couple extra switches in the toolbox. So that'll be an extra switch that I'll put in here, wire them up to that. I'm thinking whether to cut this back half piece off and make a separate wider console that will still like maybe attach to this by magnets or something. But I want to be able to put 2 cup holders in the back. Of course, these won't fit, you know, side to side how wide this is. I couldn't go any wider because it would have been hitting my seats. So I may cut this section off and then make a wider one and then just still have it attached to this. That way it doesn't move around, flop around and stuff. But we'll see. Like I said, all this is still kind of, I'm just going off the dome with it, man. So that was the piece I just kind of put together to mock it up inside there. Everything fit nice and snug the way I want it. So this is the piece I cut last night, and I did set it in GhoSSt and it fit perfect. So I did have to come in here and notch it out a little bit. I might even just do it all the way across, but I just did it with the blade just on an angle. And then I had to do this piece here because, of course, if you ever notice, for those that have built these things, right here on the transmission tunnel, it's not so wide down here in the back area or in the middle. You do have that brace right here. That's why I cut that little notch out. But up here it gets wider, right? So that's why I shaved off these corners in the front, just to get it to fit a little bit more straight and not like poke out this way. I want it to be nice and straight all the way across. So this I might even have to shorten that down or shave it down a little bit more, but I can always hit that with the DA or the grinder or something like that once I get the other side cut out. So today we're going to go ahead and cut out another side just like this. But let me go ahead and put this in the car so you can get an idea. Kind of see, yesterday I messed up on my cut. I tried putting this flat bar down with some vice grips from end to end to kind of keep my saw nice and straight, but that didn't work. I should have just left it off. But I'll smooth that out with the DA. I'll put some 80 grit on the DA, smooth that out a little bit. But let's go ahead and get this piece in the car real fast. So this will go in just like that towards the front. These little makeshift braces that I made are going to basically just kind of be where the holes are going to go once I get the blocks in here to mount to this. But let's see if we can get this in here snug, decently sitting where I want it. And from the width from the front to the back is going to be all the same. It ain't going to, angle out towards the front. It ain't going to be like a V. I want it to be all nice, basic, even all the way across. So it's going to fit pretty decently tight, but on these edges I will round them off with the router. But that's basically what you're going to have right there. Let me open this sunroof real quick for you so you can get a little bit better light. Let me unlock it, unloosen the ends a little bit. It's hard to do it one-handedly, but we'll do it the best we can. I might have to go outside and actually do it. All right. I already unhooked the batteries. I haven't taken them out the car yet, but I unhooked them. So normally if I did this inside the car, it would have been so much easier. But let's get this thing opened up so we can get some lighting in here. I still haven't invested in any studio lights yet. But once I get back to work and get things caught up, then I'll go ahead and get some studio lighting. I know that'll help out a lot so you guys can see better, especially when we're in the car. All right. Okay, so now you get a little bit more light in here. You can basically see how she's gonna fit. I may bring this in a little bit more because I really don't want it like super flush with this here. So I may take a little bit out of that. But this is where the EQ is going to go. Okay, and then what I like about this too, it's going to hold my seat belt in place. Maybe later I'll put a strap down here or something to hold it so it doesn't fall in between the seat. I hate that, man. I hate having to dig for that. So this is how she'll look in the back. But like I say, all this will be rounded off with the router nice and smooth. But I just wanted to give you guys a basic idea how she's going to look. And I did want to build this thing out of all 1/2 inch MDF. But this board is pretty jacked up. So I'm only going to use sections just for the top and the side, or the back pieces. But enough talking. I just kind of wanted to basically explain my idea to kind of show you guys what I got going on here. So now I'm going to draw this thing out on here to make another pattern rather than using this one because I did screw up a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this right here, this blank. I'll go ahead and draw it out on here, transfer the shape of it on here. We'll go ahead and cut it out. I'll do my you know, my sculpting, whatever you want to call it. I'll do that on the new piece once I get it cut out, and then we'll fit both pieces in GhoSSt and see how it goes. So let me cut this camera off and get to drawing and cutting, y'all. So we'll cut you back on here in a little bit.
Gold teeth, popping boots, scratch the pavement. Hood legend status, I'm Texas entertainment. Low for life, flowing deep on chrome spokes. Swinging wide of Texas, watch all the hits provoke. AC blowing clean, sunroof doing its thing. Sagging all born king with that southern swing. Props to the engine home.
All right, y'all. So here we go. We got both pieces cut out. And outside, I went ahead and set up a little table real fast. Brought my DA out with 80 grit on it. And like I told you, I was using these pieces of wood for tables. So I had some dings in them, some cracks. I mean, glue, you know, adhesive where I was gluing stuff on it. So I kind of just smoothed it out a little bit here and there. All that stuff will get kind of covered up once we get the upholster to cover them. But I am going to go back over them and kind of clean them up a little bit better. If they have, you know, right here, I kind of dinged it up a little bit pretty good with the pliers. But I'll fill that stuff in with some Bondo, even like with the screws or staples, however I'm going to put this thing together. I'm going to fill those in, you know, areas in with a little bit of Bondo too. But as you can see, I kind of got them as close as I could. But if I need to, I'm going to run my, I'll run back over this either with my DA or the, once I break out the, oh my gosh, router. I just have a handheld router. I don't have the table. I wish I did. I do need to invest in a table, a routing table. That way I can learn how to use it, because I don't even know how to use one. But I just have the handheld router that I'll round off all my edges and stuff, make it kind of decently clean. But if I need to, I can kind of hit these areas a little bit better to smooth them out. This is where the tunnel's going to be at. But let's go ahead and get these in the car. That way, once I get both sides in, I'll be able to pretty much know where my brackets are going to go and how long I'm going to need to make them. So this will be for the driver's side. I'm going to open this sunroof back open. I closed it. That way I wouldn't get so much dust in here. All this stuff's going to come back out of GhoSSt here pretty soon. But I don't want it to get too nasty in here. That way when I take it in the house, I don't trash my house any worse than what it is. No, it's not that bad. I just need to update a few things in the house. But once we get GhoSSt done, then we'll go and start doing some house repairs and whatnot. Updating. Oh my gosh. Stupid sunroof. But let's go ahead and get both of these pieces in here. And I'll mess with that here in a little bit. I kind of cleaned them off a little bit, blew them off with a little bit of air. Oh man, don't tell me I cut the wrong side or shaved the wrong side. I think I did. Oh no, we got them on the wrong sides. That's what it is. All right, so this one's actually gonna go on the passenger side. I don't want to mess that dash too bad, scratch it up too bad, because that I'm not sure if I'm gonna get reupholstered or maybe repaint it. I haven't thought about that yet. Haven't gone that far yet. But let's get these pieces in here. That way we can, sorry about the camera, y'all. I'm not really paying attention to what I'm recording. Just trying to get these pieces in here. That way we can kind of get them mocked up where I need to put them. That way I know how I'm going to make my braces. So, y'all are watching this live, man. Y'all just bear with me for a second or two. Okay. So, I kind of want that to lay up right up underneath the face of that of the dash panel. I basically want it to line up, you know, with that edge right there. So this one right here is pretty much in the position that it's going to be, as well as this one here, pretty much spot on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back in here with the, you know, my straight edge, get them lined up the best I can, and then we'll pretty much, I'll get a block to space these out evenly, and then we'll go ahead and get a brace in here. That way I can start making, you know, the back, the tops, and then, you know, start getting this drawer made up, and then get this piece. Like I said, this piece here isn't going to be so hard. This will probably be the bottom of the, you know, the glove box or center console area where I'm going to be able to storage, you know, put some, you know, whatever in here. This piece here is the section that I'm going to need to be able to take loose. So I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to build this section right here, but you guys got the general idea. If need be, I will put a plate inside here, depending on how wide, how thick I'm gonna need to make the piece. I can always drop down a little bit lower to put my EQ in there. I haven't measured that out yet. So this may even be cut out just a little bit lower. The thing is I'm gonna try to use 1/2 inch for all the top half. That way it's not so much being exposed here on the sides. I do like how I love how people, you know, have their edges like this. They have their top piece and then they have the edge. I love how people do that. So that may be how I'm gonna go ahead and do this one. Like I said, man, I'm just kind of going with the flow. I do not know exactly how it's gonna end up. This piece even here, like I said, I may cut this section off and then make a whole nother section, a whole nother piece that will actually slide over this back half, this back corner, and then attach somehow that way. But that way at least it comes out a little bit more, and then that way I can put 2 cup holders in there, because as of right now I'm only going to be able to fit 1. So, but that's it right there, y'all. So we got both sides done. I'm gonna kind of work on getting the braces put in and then start making the panels to start building on the outside of it, and then my door, the top, the lid that's going to open up here. So I don't want to make this too long of a video. Like I said, I'll probably split it up in 2 or 3 different pieces, but I just kind of wanted to give you an idea of how it's going to end up being. Changes still may happen with this here. I'm not 100% sure that this is exactly how it's going to go, but for the most part, this is what we have so far. Man, I got extra tweeters. I may even, you know, like I said, put some speakers down here just to kind of, or maybe even a design like how a lot of people are doing, maybe cut out a couple holes and put some grills in there. I'm not sure yet. I'm not even gone that far yet. I'm not even thinking that far. So that's it, y'all. Let me try to get this sunroof open. Maybe I can get a better look-see at it from the top. Man, I hate having to do this from the outside. I always like being inside the car, and then that way I can tuck this, my headliner, up in here. Man, I'd love to figure out a way to do starlights in here, but with the slider, I don't know if I'll be able to actually accomplish that. All right. Man, I love how they did that though. I just sent them the headliner material to match what I put in the car, and they went ahead and sewed that section on to this sunroof. So, but let's see if y'all can get a better idea. So this is what she'll look like. She goes all the way from the front to the back. All right. So, like I said, I'll make a brace here and a brace here. That way she'll mount and attach to the floor like the factory piece does. And then we'll make our face up here. That way I can get my EQ in there rather than having it mounted underneath the dash. And then kind of go from there, man. Like I said, this isn't 100%, you know, thought of. I did just kind of draw it out, sketch it out how I want it. But I think it's going to look all right, man. For my first one, my major front to back center console. I think it's gonna be all right. A little groovy. What y'all think? She fits up there pretty nice and tight. So, like I said, this right here I may have to adjust because the EQ, oh, maybe not. She may fit in there pretty good. So, got the old school Alpine. I want to find me another one for when I do Lucky 2 times. But I think we're good right here, man. I need to go in the house, ice the knee a little bit. And like I told y'all, man, I only work an hour, maybe 2 out here. Then I go in the house. I shut down, I go in the house. That's why I don't get much done. Sometimes in my videos, you'll see me wearing like the same shirt, but it's because I have, you know, 10, 15, 20 of the same shirt. It's what I wear to work. It's kind of like, not necessarily a uniform, but I don't like having to have a bunch of different, you know, t-shirts, nice shit that I wear to work, and then it gets, you know, dirty, jacked up, holes, whatever. But man, whew, that was a little workout for you, boy. Getting a little winded. But that's it for today, y'all. Well, not necessarily for today. Maybe once I ice the knee, I might come back out here a little bit later and go ahead and start getting the bracing done. And then that way she sits up, both panels sit up nice and even. And then we'll kind of go from there. But we'll go ahead and make another video. This is going to end this one on just the sides and the edges, or, you know, the 2 sides, left and right. Man, it's actually looking pretty good. I ain't gonna lie. But that's gonna be it for y'all for today. Mexican Ladies Therapy Garage, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. We're out.
Garage therapy. Tap into my channel, that's where you wanna be. 87 Monte Carlo, West name GhoSSt. I bet when I punch the gas, all you see is white smoke. And you know we do it big Texas, so we going 100 spokes like we on West Coast. Mexican Ladies Garage therapy, come get with me, come get with me. Love,